Clark is the undisputed rising star in women's basketball, a player whose electrifying performances have made her one of the most talked about athletes in the game today. So when news broke that she was left off Team USA's Olympic roster, fans were stunned. How could the WNBA's brightest young star be snubbed from the biggest stage in international basketball? The decision sparked outrage and controversy, with many pointing out a disturbing pattern of hypocrisy in the WNBA's treatment of its top talent. Why was Clark excluded, and what does this say about the league's priorities? Let's dive into the full story behind the snub that has left fans and analysts scratching their heads. Clark's rise to prominence has been nothing short of meteoric. From her jaw-dropping performances at the University of Iowa to her seamless transition into the WNBA, she has been a force to be reckoned with on the court. Known for her deep three-pointers, slick passes, and ability to take over games, Clark has quickly become the face of the new generation of women's basketball. Fans and media alike have dubbed her the future of the sport, and her popularity has soared, making her one of the most marketable athletes in the WNBA. So when the roster for Team USA's women's basketball team heading to the 2024 Paris Olympics was announced, everyone expected to see Clark's name near the top of the list. After all, she had been putting up MVP-caliber numbers in the WNBA, showcasing her unique blend of scoring, playmaking, and leadership on the court. But shockingly, Clark's name was nowhere to be found. The omission immediately sent shockwaves through the basketball community. How could the player who many considered to be the best young talent in the WNBA not make the Olympic team? Fans were furious, and social media was flooded with reactions questioning the decision. How do you leave Clark off the roster? One fan tweeted, "This is a joke. She's literally the future of women's basketball." But this was more than just a simple snub. It revealed a deeper issue within the WNBA and Team USA's selection process. Critics were quick to point out the hypocrisy in how the league promotes its young stars versus how it actually treats them when it comes to opportunities like the Olympics. While the WNBA had been more than happy to use Clark's image to market the league and draw in fans, it seemed reluctant to give her the platform she deserved when it came to representing her country on the world stage. The hypocrisy of the snub. One of the most glaring contradictions in this situation is the way the WNBA has positioned Clark as the next face of the league. Clark has been the subject of countless interviews, promotional campaigns, and media appearances, all aimed at highlighting her immense talent and marketability. She's featured in highlight reels, commercials, and social media posts meant to attract younger fans to the game. The league has rightfully capitalized on her star power to bring more attention to women's basketball. But when it came time to select the roster for the Olympics, where the best of the best compete on a global stage, Clark was left off. How does that make sense? How can the WNBA promote Clark as its brightest young star, yet fail to include her on the biggest stage of them all? The snub feels like a betrayal of everything the league has been selling to its fans. Fans were not the only ones questioning the decision. Several high-profile figures in the basketball community voiced their confusion and frustration. Former NBA player and analyst Kendrick Perkins took to Twitter saying, "How do you leave Clark off the Olympic team? That's a major mistake. This girl is the future and she deserves to be on that stage." Others pointed to the fact that the WNBA has been struggling to draw in younger audiences, and leaving out one of the most exciting players in the game seemed like a step backward for the league. The alleged reasons behind the snub. So why was Clark snubbed from the Olympic roster? Team USA and the WNBA have remained tight-lipped on the specifics, but rumors and speculation have been swirling. Some insiders have suggested that the decision came down to a perceived lack of experience. With so many veteran players still performing at a high level, there may have been concerns about Clark's ability to handle the pressure of the Olympics as a relatively young player, but that reasoning rings hollow to many. Clark has shown time and again that she thrives in high-pressure situations. Whether it's knocking down clutch shots or leading her team in crunch time, she has consistently proven that she can perform on the biggest stages. In fact, her ability to rise to the occasion is part of what has made her such a fan favorite. To leave her off the Olympic roster because of a supposed lack of experience seems like a weak justification at best. Others have speculated that there may be politics at play. Team USA's roster selections have always been subject to behind-the-scenes dynamics, including relationships with coaches, sponsors, and existing team chemistry. Could it be that certain veteran players or coaching staff were uncomfortable with the idea of a young star like Clark coming in and shaking up the established order? While this is just speculation, it's not unheard of for team politics to influence roster decisions. One insider noted, "There are a lot of egos in the mix when it comes to selecting an Olympic roster. Sometimes the best player for the job doesn't make the team because of other factors. Caitlin deserves to be there, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were some internal politics at play." What this says about the WNBA's treatment of young stars. The Caitlin Clark Olympic snub has sparked a broader conversation about how the WNBA handles its young stars. While the league has made strides in promoting players like Clark, there's still a sense that the old guard of veterans holds more sway when it comes to major decisions like roster selection for Team USA. This can be seen as part of a larger trend in women's basketball, where younger players often have to wait their turn even if they're already outperforming some of the established stars. There's no question that veteran players have earned their place in the game through years of hard work and dedication. Legends like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird paved the way for today's players, and they deserve all the respect they receive. But at the same time, the future of the game rests on the shoulders of players like Caitlin Clark. If the WNBA wants to continue growing and attracting new fans, it needs to make room for the next generation, even if that means difficult decisions when it comes to roster spots. By leaving Caitlin Clark off the Olympic team, the WNBA and Team USA are sending a mixed message. On the one hand, they're telling fans that she's the future of the league. On the other hand, they're signaling that she's not quite ready for the spotlight when it comes to representing the country. This inconsistency could have lasting consequences for how fans view the league's commitment to its younger stars. The fan outcry and media reactions. Praise. The fan backlash was immediate and fierce. Social media platforms lit up with reactions from fans, many of whom were stunned and angry at Clark's omission from the roster. Hashtags like their Clark snub and Justice for Caitlin trended on Twitter as fans demanded answers from Team USA and the WNBA. Sports media outlets quickly picked up on the story, with many analysts calling the decision a missed opportunity for Team USA to inject fresh energy into the roster. ESPN's basketball analyst Rebecca Lobo commented on the snub, saying, "Caitlin Clark is the kind of player who can change the game. Her ability to score from anywhere on the court makes her a unique talent, and it's a shame we won't get to see her on the Olympic stage." Even some of Clark's fellow players expressed their surprise. WNBA stars like Sabrina Ionescu and Aja Wilson shared their thoughts on the situation, with Ionescu tweeting, "Caitlin's time is coming. She's one of the best, and she'll be on that stage soon enough." What's next for Caitlin Clark? Despite the Olympic snub, Caitlin Clark's future in basketball remains incredibly bright. She continues to be one of the top players in the WNBA, and her fan base only continues to grow. While missing out on the Olympics is undoubtedly a setback, Clark's drive and determination suggest that this is only a temporary roadblock in what promises to be a long and successful career. As for Team USA and the WNBA, they'll need to reckon with the fallout from this decision. The backlash from fans, analysts, and media figures will likely force the organization to rethink how it handles its young stars in the future. If the league truly wants to grow and attract new fans, it will need to embrace players like Clark and give them the platform they deserve. The decision to leave Caitlin Clark off Team USA's Olympic roster is one that has exposed the hypocrisy within the WNBA's approach to promoting its young stars. While the league has been quick to use Clark's image and talent to market itself, it failed to give her the opportunity to shine on the biggest stage in international basketball. The fan outcry and media backlash show just how important Clark has become to the sport, and her omission is a stark reminder that the WNBA needs to fully embrace the next generation of players if it wants to continue its upward trajectory. In the end, Caitlin Clark will undoubtedly use this snub as motivation, and the basketball world will be watching closely as she continues to rise. But for Team USA and the WNBA, this is a wake-up call. A reminder that the future of women's basketball lies with players like Clark, and it's time to start treating them like the stars they are.